One needs to add very little to lesson 20 to get to lesson 21. Now we're looking at the indicative, building on the participle. In terms of form, you've met luo and you've met eluon, and you learnt that past tenses needed to be augmented in Greek. The same is true of the aorist. In the indicative, it will be augmented. This is one reason why Dobson introduces the participle before the indicative, because participles aren't augmented. Only the indicative is augmented. So you've learnt the standard form of the aorist with just the aorist marker, and now we're adding the past tense marker to show that the aorist has moved from being aspect to tense. You are now dealing with something that is properly a tense. Now you've got your sigma alpha marking aorist. You'll often see it just as a sigma, but I'd encourage you to think that sigma alpha is generally what you're looking for, because it is true for almost every part of the verb. Su, sus, the one place where you don't want alpha, se, summon, sate, sun. So if we fill in all of luo, you'll see that particularly in the plural, the endings are actually very similar. They're just characterised by having sigma alpha all the way through, and they're augmented. That does mean you might get a few issues when you're trying to join the sigma onto the stem. Luo is nice and easy because it is a vowel stem and doesn't mess around with the sigma. You saw with, for example, archomai, you ended up with erxato. Two things have happened there. First of all, your alpha has augmented and become an eta. You saw that with the imperfect would happen. And second, chi plus sigma goes to psi. There are rules to govern that. Pi, beta, phi plus sigma give psi. Tau, delta, theta, zeta plus sigma give just a sigma. And kappa, gamma, chi give psi. The other thing to note, as with the imperfect, you've got the augment for proskuneo goes in the middle. So compound verbs, the augment will still go between the compound and the main verb root. In terms of meaning, present I untie, imperfect I was untying, or used to, kept, began to, anything that is iterative. The aorist I untied, anything that is simple in the past. So your imperfect is the past continuous, your aorist is the past simple. It is not I have untied. So that is the perfect in Greek. Greek differentiates between those two in a way that some languages, like Latin, don't. We will look at that later. It's chapter 33 in the textbook, which I'm hoping to do sooner rather than later. But the aorist is not I have untied. It is simply I untied.